on Hollywood Road is one of the first paved roads of Hong Kong. These stone pavements have witnessed the incubation of the local art scene. And as times changed, so has the art world. Local arts and cultural heritage has faced many challenges, and yet it provides new opportunity for existing galleries and artists to pave a new way for the future. So how important is art to the development of culture? Let's hear from someone who's witnessed it firsthand.
Culture certainly encompasses a lot of things, but art arguably has the greatest influence. As the Hong Kong art scene evolves, it's nice to gain some perspective of where it once was.
So Sally, how long have you been in the art industry?
Since I was young, it's like traditional Chinese family. We start to help like parents moving antiques around in the house, in the gallery, and it's the way I get their influence and learn about all these things. I'm so fortunate that I witnessed the historical change and evolving art scene in Hong Kong. Trading art and learning from our childhood gives us so much opportunity. Like my whole family, they are passionate about this gallery.
Yeah. How did they get started in the gallery?
He handed over. Art industry in Hong Kong was like the golden age. And along the street, there are so many families like ours, trading art and learning from all the treasure hunters come from all over the world. I became so in love with these things as my Western friends. They always appreciate my traditional Chinese background and what I can share with them, the stories.
Yeah.
I realized that is my unique ability, to connect the world as well.
What was Hollywood Road like? Because you see here now, it's just restaurants and so on.
It's a bit heartache to see our neighbors and other dealers to close down. But I'm hopeful because I think Hong Kong always have the spirit for transformation and embrace the change is what life is.
Did they all sell spiritual art or traditional art like that?
At first, my family started to sell Chinese old world antiques. And then, because of my spiritual journey, I bring in a lot of Tibetan art and collection.
Oh, so that was your initiative?
Yes. This passion helped me to go through many crises in Hong Kong.
So where do you see the local art scene growing in the future?
Well, from the humble beginning, Hong Kong became the center of Asia in the art scene and also the flagship of Art Basel. Now we have our Empress Museum, Palace Museum, all these amazing international galleries. So I'm very confident, with the change, the digital art and metaverse, NFT, that brings us so much more opportunity and great potential because our expertise to China and something the market couldn't do allow us to have so much interesting exhibitions, interesting art events, to promote local artists. I think is very optimistic.
The support of young local artists is certainly making the future of this art scene look bright. Seems like Ivy is still on a mission to find out more. Let's see what else she has in store for us.
Galleries are the backbones of the art world and provide space for art to be appreciated. Walking along Hollywood Road, the inspiration is palpable and knows no bounds. No matter if we're talking about contemporary or classical art, local or international art, Hong Kong has a place for it. So Andy, what do you do here?
Yeah, so I'm the director of the gallery here, mostly focusing on managing the exhibitions, our art advisory sector and the sales, and then also helping with research and curation of each exhibition.
I see. Well, what do you think about opening this gallery here then?
So our founder, Arthur, he has been in Hong Kong for over a decade actually. And he came to Hong Kong when he was very young. He was working, and instantly he fell in love with the city. He's someone who grew up with arts and creativity all around his life. His mother was an artist, and his sister is also an artist. So art has always been in his DNA. And by 2020, he decided that, it's finally a good time to focus his efforts on his passion for art and his long-term friendships with artists. So
That's really surprising because 2020, that's at the peak of
exactly.
the pandemic.
Yeah, we actually opened right during March 2020, which is the peak of the pandemic. And Arthur, together with his father, Mr. Dominique de Villepin, he was the former Prime Minister of France, and he also came here for the opening. So it was a really bold move for them to open a gallery at that time. But again, it is in these turbulent and interesting times that you do something that's different.
What do you think is most unique about this gallery?
The most unique thing about the gallery is our curation and how much effort we put into the research into the gallery. As you can see, from walking up to the gallery, we're not a traditional white cubed gallery in a sense that we don't just hang artworks on a white wall to show the paintings, but we really put in the effort to curate the whole space, add in little details of each artist. For example, the bar that you see here, this is based on the Colony Room Club bar from the 1960s that Francis Bacon used to go to every day. So we have photos of him here, hanging out with his friends, and that's where he met all his artist friends and his art circle. So these are the little details that we want to bring into the exhibition for the full experience of each visitor. Every single section of the exhibition is different. When you walk in, you see Francis Bacon's studio. So we actually recreated his 1960s studio, exactly what it looked like. So we researched into the types of, the brands of paintings that he would use, the type of canned food that he liked to eat, where he would put his brushes on laterwards. And then sometimes instead of using paint brushes, he would paint with his pair of corduroy pants.
Yeah, it really looks like the entire interior just came out of the photo that you've got of him. Yeah, so it's quite a mess, I have to say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because Francis Bacon is an artist who really is born from chaos. He is inspired by chaos. He's someone, he was born in 1909 and passed away in 1992. So he lived through 2 of the world wars and went through a lot of trauma and inner struggles. So once you walk into our exhibition, that's the sort of experience that we want to show visitors first. And every time when someone walks in, they get really shocked and surprised at what we are showing, because they're expecting to see paintings, but you actually see the artist's studio first.
Yeah. Do you do this for every exhibition?
So far, yes. Every single exhibition, we incorporate all these little elements to the show. Renovating and redesigning the whole space from the ground, the materials of the floor and the walls, and each of the shapes.
Where do you see the art scene going in Hong Kong?
In Hong Kong, I think there has been a lot of changes throughout the year. Pre-COVID days, the art market was booming, and I believe that Hong Kong is and always will be Asia's art hub for the art market. Through the pandemic, everything was slowing down, but actually there has been a lot of new galleries opening up in Hong Kong, and especially in the central area. And these are younger galleries that are bringing new ideas, young and emerging artists to the city. So compared to, say, pre-COVID days, the market now is actually more sophisticated and more diverse. And then what's amazing is last year we saw the opening of major institutions such as encompasses. And then this year we have the Palace Museum. So everything is adding to the arts ecosystem. Not only do we have galleries, auction houses, art fairs, now we also have major institutions that are the best of the world. Also, Hong Kong has always been under international influence. It's such a diverse world. We really get cultures from everywhere. And from the beginning, we were the Asia destination for the Art Basel Fair. So from the start, we already had a lot of international collectors coming in. And what's interesting to see is that since the pandemic has happened, we see a lot of collectors looking inward, so looking locally. And they have been starting to collect younger artists that are from Hong Kong, either graduated from Hong Kong or have artist studios in Hong Kong. And I think that's a great trend to have, to really focus efforts on our local artists. And that's also something that we are gonna work with in terms of the planning for the next exhibitions.
From the outside looking in, Hong Kong never stopped being known as a cultural hub. It is beset with regional and international influences, especially from the art world. And art is food for culture. But to keep up with the times, galleries and art scene will have to evolve to engage with the next generation of art enthusiasts and keep culture alive. They can incorporate new technologies or make exhibitions more experiential, just like this place.